Okay, welcome to Wednesday's math. We're going to just do review today. I'm going to go back to adding fractions. I didn't feel comfortable with what I saw the other day, people forgetting kind of how we do things. My guess is part of the problem is that you were trying to do the work on the computer and maybe not writing your work out on a SmartPal or scrap paper. So that's what I suggest, okay? And as I do the problems, I'm going to show you a mistake people were making, which is just not using our strategies. Okay, so let's talk about adding fractions. So anytime you add fractions, you must make the denominators equal. Okay, I can't add 2/3 and I can't add 1/5 because they don't fit together. So you have two options. You can multiply the fractions to make them equal, or you can redraw them. Okay, so I'm going to show you both ways. First, I'll do multiplying each fraction. So if I have 2/3 and I have 1/5, I need to multiply each fraction by something to make it a common denominator, right? That's what I'm looking for, a common denominator. Well, I can multiply this fraction here by this guy's denominator. Okay, so I can do 2/3 times 5/5. I have to change the whole fraction. I am not multiplying this fraction by 1/5. That's a different problem. I'm multiplying the whole thing by 5/5. And that will equal 10/15. Because 10 is equivalent to 2/3. 10 is 2/3 of 15. All right. Then for 1/5, I can multiply it by 3/3. So the whole thing by 3, right? Not 2/3, the whole thing by 3/3. So 1 times 3 is 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Then if I add them, 10/15 plus 3/15 equals 13/15. That will be my answer. Now, let's see this again with the drawing method. Okay, so here we had the multiplication method, right? We multiplied. Now, the other way to make fractions equal is to draw them. And it's actually the same thing. You're multiplying it. Instead of using numbers to multiply, you're just using lines. So let's do that. You could also draw 2/3 and you could draw 1/5. Okay. Then remember, we're always going to split this fraction by this guy's denominator. So we're going to split this fraction 5 times. So we'll go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this new fraction now it's equivalent. It's the same thing. I didn't change anything, just the name of it. It's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. It's 10/15. And now I'm going to change this one. I'm going to split it into 3 new parts. Okay, so now I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. It's equivalent. It's the same thing. So now I have 10/15 plus 3/15 equals 13/15. Okay, I hope this is like kind of jogging your memory. Let's do one more. of review. Okay, 3/4 plus 1/3. I'm going to go fast on this because I've already reviewed it. I went slow on the last one. Now I'm going to go boom, 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 boom. So re-watch the first part if you need it slower. Okay? So 3/4 plus 1/3. My first one I'll do to make denominators equal is I'll multiply each fraction to find a common denominator. So I'm going to do 3/4, and I'm going to multiply it by the other fraction's denominator by 3/3. Okay, so 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. Now let's see what we're going to add it to. I'm going to do 1/3. And I'm going to multiply it by 4/4. So 1 times 4 is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Then 9/12 plus 4/12 is 13/12. But I can't leave my answer in that stage. I have to simplify, which is something a lot of you have been forgetting. 13/12, 12 goes into 13 one time. And then there's 1 left over. So 1 and 1/12. Okay, so that's how you do it, by multiplying to get common denominators. Let's just draw it quickly. So I'm going to be drawing. Okay, so I've set up my models for 3/4 plus 1/3. So now I'm going to split this fraction into 3 new pieces. Okay, and I get 3, 6, 9 out of 4, 8, 12. I get 9/12. And here I'm going to split this fraction by this denominator. So 1. So I get 4 out of 4, 8, 12 equals 13/12. And I know that if I were to have 13/12, they wouldn't all fit into one, right? They would. This would be 12/12. So for 13/12, I would need one more. So it would be 1 whole and 1/12. That would be your answer. Okay, so when you work today, you're going to do several problems of adding fractions. We just have to have it down. This isn't something that's negotiable. You can't leave 5th grade without being able to do these basic fraction things. You've got to remember them. It's my job to give you constant opportunity to review, but it's your job also to stop and think about the strategies you know and hold yourself accountable for what you know how to do. Okay? Adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions are musts for 5th graders. You can't leave 5th grade without it. It's just like you can't come to 5th grade without being able to multiply. You can't go to 6th grade without knowing your basic fraction stuff. Okay, so this is very important for that reason. All right. Now, moving on, also with fractions, continuing finding area of shapes where one of them has where 2 of them actually have fractions. So remember our steps from yesterday. We are going to turn both numbers into improper fractions. It's not the only way to do it. It's just the easiest way to do it. The least amount of work. And it's still a lot of work. Then, once we get a crazy big fraction, we're going to simplify it by dividing the new numerator by the denominator. And we'll remember that the remainder is the new numerator. I'll come back to these steps, okay? So, first, our length is 2.5. And our width is 2 2/5. So we are going to do length times width because that's area. So we're going to do 2 1/2 times 2 2/5, right? Now, if we go back to our steps, the first thing we do is turn both numbers into, first thing we do is find length and width, which we did, okay? Now we turn both numbers into improper fractions. So let's do that. So we're going to turn 2.5 into an improper fraction. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So it's 5/2. And this is 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12. So it's 12/5. So that's our new problem. 5/2 times 12/5. So 5 times 12 is 60. 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, then the next step is we simplify by dividing the new numerator by the denominator. So we are going to do 60. We are going to do, it's 60 tenths. So we'll do 60 divided by 10. Put 60 in here, 10 here. 10 goes into 6, 0 times. 10 goes into 60, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 6 times. And there is no remainder here. So the area is 6. Okay? So if I were you, when I do the problems, I would have this up and I would follow these steps. Go 1, 2, 3, do them in order. Okay, so I think that's it for practice today. So you're adding a lot of fractions and doing another area with fractional lengths.